Alrighty guys, we're gonna be doing a tier list of melee weapons. I would say this would be a little controversial. Some people may not agree with, and that's okay. This is my play style and how I like to play. I always see there's a consensus like S tier weapon, but again, this is my own opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Which weapons did I get wrong for you guys? What weapons do you think are underrated? Because I feel like some weapons don't get talked about a lot or are actually useful in some situations. Hunting knife, I'm gonna put this B tier. It's a good weapon, and I know some people might put it in D tier or a little lower, just because if the demon possesses you and you know they can pretty much stun lock you with the hunting knife. However, if you have a good weapon with any of these, if a good demon's gonna get you, they're gonna get you. If your team doesn't know how to shoot you while you have a hunting knife, that's on your team. I would say the hunting knife is B tier. It's a very good weapon. Very fast, especially if you have a higher rarity like the legendary or stuff like that, which I would say the legendary hunting knives are kind of common. If anything, I see more legendary hunting knives than pretty much anything else. Meat cleaver, I'm gonna say that's D tier. This is the D tier weapon. Even if you have Kelly, I'm gonna say it's still gonna be bad. I'd honestly prefer picking up like a Lumberjack Axe compared to picking up a meat hammer. And I know like the main reasons for Kelly is like if you get into a bind, you can kind of chain F's and stuff like that. But being a hunter and having so much stamina and having her ability where you can infinite dodge, I don't really think, if you really need to get away from a demon, I think you could. I don't think there's a very high reason to be using this. You could choose any other weapon that has like a higher amount of damage, or even when it comes to stun locking, you can use like a sledgehammer or something like that. I just feel like there's more viable options compared to the meat hammer. Meat hammer is D tier. Improvised spear, that's D tier. I don't care what you say. This is so bad. I know the spear is kind of like a thing for support as so you can get a wide spread of like hits because the hit radius on this with the heavy attacks. But honestly, I just think it's bad. It's kind of hard to change finishes if you need to. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It's not very good at anything besides the range. And I just think it's overall, it's a pretty bad weapon. Meat cleaver, I'm gonna put the C tier. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put the C tier. It's okay. Like if it's one of the only weapons that you have that's around you, I would say it's good to use. It's not like super crazy. With the hand axe, I'm gonna say this one is B tier. It has a higher range, more damage. The speed's pretty decent too. It's a 3, the same thing as the meat cleaver. However, the range and the damage just makes up for it. If you have one of these weapons, I would say pick it up. It's a decent one to get by. Common pickaxe, same thing as the hand axe. It's pretty good. I honestly, what makes the pickaxe very good is that it's considered a blunt object. If you're running a blunt build with like Henry or something like that and you have a one-handed, this is very good, especially if your main thing is the mace and you haven't found a mace yet. You can easily pick this up and still do quite a bit of damage on it. It's a good weapon if you're built into balance bar and like a one-handed melee weapon. If there's no chainsaw or mace around you, I would say pick this one up. It's probably be your best one. The sledgehammer, this one I think people are gonna get mad at. I'm gonna say this one's B tier. I do not like the sledgehammer. It is so slow, especially when it comes to heavy attacks. I feel like on the heavy attacks with this thing, out of every single weapon, I feel like the heavy attacks on the sledgehammer get interrupted so easily, and it gets interrupted so often. You're most likely going to be doing light attacks with this thing anyways. If you do have like a purple or anything higher, I would say go for it. But I believe like the blue is only like 1 point different on like every stat category. We're gonna put the shovel in A tier. The shovel is a pretty good weapon when it comes to doing like balance bar damage. The animations feel quicker. It has a quick swing to it, especially when it comes to the heavy attacks. I think overall it's a decent weapon. Oh, I forgot about the machete. Machete, I would say B tier. Machete is a pretty good weapon. It's quick, it's fast, high dismemberment damage. Overall, I think it's very good. It has a high range. Lumberjack Axe, S tier. The animations for it, the heavy attacks, that's just a really good weapon. I don't think there's anybody really denying that the Lumberjack is not S tier. It's a great weapon overall. With that, I'm gonna put the mace. Has a decent amount of damage. The range is good. The balance bar, the dismemberment, all that's good. Now the speed is a 1. However, I feel like the speed is so much faster compared to the other one. Maybe it's because it's a one-handed compared to a two-handed. The speed on this thing is like a night and day compared to like the Sledgehammer or something like that. Like the speed is exactly the same, but the animations, the movement on the weapon, it just feels so nice to use. This helps on the warrior build if you're building into a one-handed weapon. Sword, I'm gonna say that's an S tier. The sword I would say is very good. It's pretty much the same thing when it comes to Lumberjack Axe, especially on the dismemberment side. And I know the range is smaller than like the Lumberjack Axe. I feel like just some of the swings, I feel like you can really do like a high amount of like AoE type of damage, especially if they're spamming like a whole bunch of portals on you, things like that. This can be a real game changer, especially when it comes to higher rarity. The sword is actually very good. Now I got two options left. Chainsaw, this is gonna be A tier. The chainsaw is a good weapon. Dismemberment's really good. I want to put this higher because I feel like the chainsaw should be hands down the best weapon in the game, and I just feel like it's not. The animations for it are so terrible. The range for it is so low. I mean, look at the range compared to some of the other top tier weapons. It's bad. Like nothing above B tier besides the hunting knife has a lower range than it. It's one of the only weapons that has a low range for it, and I think it's so bad. Like this should be the best weapon in the game, hands down. Should have been from the start. I know they upped up the dismemberment. However, I don't think that does it justice. And most of the time, you're running a common chainsaw anyways. I mean, if we're being honest, legendary chainsaws are freaking hard to come by. This for me is the second best weapon in the game, hands down. I think it's the best blunt object weapon to use. This baseball bat is super good, super underrated. I love using this thing as like a balance bar build. It's freaking amazing. Now I know some people might want to switch the nail bat for the sledgehammer. However, I think the nail bat is just so much better overall. Dismemberment is the same. The damage is the same. Speed, range, speed, all that stuff. I think the sledgehammer probably has like a 5 different on the balance bar. However, this thing, when it swings, it's so much quicker. I don't think this is a 1-speed weapon. This thing feels like a 2 or a 3-speed type of weapon. It just hits super quick. It's kind of like the hand mace, where they just feel like they're super quick. This one I feel like is the quickest, especially when it comes to the heavy attacks. If you're built into like a heavy balance bar, the heavy attacks are so easy to hit on these. The wide swings are very good on this. It's super underrated. The speed is what gets it for me. The animations, the actual like hitting of it, I feel like there's more contact when you swing. Like if you're doing like a wide swing, with the nail bat compared to the sledgehammer, I feel like the bat is gonna connect them more than a sledgehammer. With the sledgehammer, either you're gonna get hit out of your freaking heavy animation, or it just feel like it doesn't hit everybody. Especially when it comes to the portals. Nail bat, honestly, for me, the nail bat is the second best weapon in the game. This is my tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Which weapons do you think need a little bit more love? And I know the sledgehammer is gonna be like a big thing, but I just think it's just way too slow. I know it's the same 1-speed weapon compared to all of these, but the animations for it, they're just so terrible to me. Especially when it comes to the heavy attacks, I feel like you get hit out of them so often. And I just, when I'm a warrior and I'm really trying to get in there and either kill a bunch of AI units or trying to hit that boss, the boss swings faster than you. And I feel like if you're really trying to stun him with your heavy attacks, the sledgehammer is just terrible. And then when you have the increased speed, the hand axe or the hand mace and the bat, they just feel so quick. Especially with all the head contacts that you get on them. Just like the basic swings, I feel like they're always on the head. This is a very nice weapon, super underrated. And this one, I feel like there's a high rarity around it. I feel like you can see a lot more purple and blue bats around than any other weapon. Again, I think this is a very good weapon. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.